Ya da ma. What's goody to the gods and the goddesses, and what's popping to the people. And I don't know why they must be messing with me, because y'all know it don't never be no fuzzies in here. I don't know what that's all about. They hating on the boss, but whatever. Um, I'm under the Raggedy Act. I ain't saved or none of that, but I'm gonna. No, I'm just playing. I'm not gonna do that. So, let me get situated. And then we're gonna talk that talk. We here for a good time, not a long time, but we gonna get it in, my friend. I think we gotta this one of them uncomfortable spaces that I say. And every time I do this, I expect that most of y'all gonna hear it on the playback, because y'all just hate this topic. Y'all like to act like it don't exist. So then that's the dumbass game I be forced to try to play with y'all, which makes zero sense to me. But it's just what y'all like to do. Yes, we live in a sick ass society, but you're willing to admit that part. What you're not willing to admit is what degree of sickness. And that's the part that bothers me. I had some, and I never put names on things, but I had a brother tell me, no, you know what? I'm going to be fair. I've had several brothers tell me, and it's mostly coming from brothers. And that's what's kind of upsetting. When it was R. Kelly, it was mostly coming from the sisters. But now that we dealing with Diddy, it's mostly coming from the brothers. And I wonder, it's a couple things attached to that. But the main thing, y'all want to go down this, they trying to bring a black man down route. All of a sudden, we pro-black. Everybody pro-black now. When I was out there looking for more black men to fight the revolution in Troy, I heard crickets. But now that they finna interrupt your booty shaking and your party scene, and they messing with the hip hoppers, now everybody pro-black. They're trying to come against the black man. They don't want to see another black billionaire. They didn't want to see the first black billionaire. Y'all say the most surface shit and think you kicking facts. And then a lot of y'all don't be knowing exactly who you're talking to. So you be thinking you educating men like, bro, that shit is fodder. I'm well aware that white people in high places take down black men. That's no secret. So what's your point? What does that have to do with the children? Are you trying to say he didn't do nothing? See, make your stance clear. Because see, you got these slick ass Dr. Umar Negroes. They perfectly take Dr. Umar Negroes and selectively slide them in beautiful spaces. All of this teaching and talking, and we ain't got not one child in a fucking school yet. We don't even got a fully done school. They're still doing shit to the school. You could potentially make this project stretch out for another 10, 15 years. As long as you show us some painted hallways and a couple signs and shit. You threw an enormous party outside 2 years ago, and we still ain't got no children inside. So it's safe to say we don't care what you say. Now, sometimes you do say some fly shit, but most of the time you full of shit. So now, we're not going to do this. We're not going to play this. They're picking on Puffy because he's a black billionaire. We're not going to play that game. They're picking on Puffy because they're all guilty, and it's just his turn because he pissed them off. So yeah, this is definitely concocted by the powers that be. But that doesn't make this fucker innocent. He is guilty as shit. See, we as a people are what you call Johnny come lately. We don't never catch on to what the fuck is going on till way later. They're just now telling you about the freak offs. You can scroll down my page and you can find out about the freak offs at least once a year for the last 10, 15 years. I've been talking about this shit. This is not new news. So that's why y'all are like, they're trying to take him down because to you, this is new news. It is well known that Puff is a weirdo. He's been a weirdo. In his defense, they're all fucking weirdos. Not this one and that one and that one and this one. Every last one of them. You cannot be an A-lister and not be a weirdo. And then y'all say stupid shit like, you know, that's why Denzel was smart enough to lead a party before the weird shit happened. Yeah, the same Denzel that hangs out with Jay-Z and Moneybagg, yo, shut the fuck up. And that doesn't exemplify shit. If you leave before the weird shit happens, you've been in Hollywood 40 fucking years. You know exactly what's happening. That doesn't make you good because you don't participate and you know what the fuck's going on. You just someone smart enough to not participate in things that you can get caught in. But you best believe he done freaked off with somebody or he wouldn't be there. See? The problem is you listen to be tricked. I'm listening for the trick. Catch me again. You're listening to be tricked. I'm listening for the trick. And the reason why I say you listening to be tricked, because you're already willing to believe anything celebrities say. Soon as we start bringing up information, the first thing y'all do is start quoting celebrities. Why don't you understand it's them against you? You're not in the same category as a celebrity. They don't view you as a regular person. They just tell you they do because you pay their salary. I know it's beyond the comprehension of the average person to conceive that your favorite actor or actress is a sick-ass fucking liar. But you have to understand. I've seen what y'all would do at a barbecue over a couple $100 that somebody steal. I've seen what y'all would do to another human being over a few $1,000s worth of drug money. I've seen the depths that a human being would go to for merely $10,000. You couldn't imagine. So for $1 million contract, for a $500,000 contract, for $250,000 contract, You think a total stranger won't fucking lie to mass people? Why? So you're telling me you wouldn't take $250,000 to lie to complete strangers? You take $250,000 to do a lot worse. You sure in the fuck would. Ask how many people would take a life for $250,000. For $250,000, how many people would kill a person for $250,000 cash right now? Okay. So now that we're back into a place called reality, these people are making 2, 3, 4, and 5,000 times what I just gave you low ball numbers. There's no Hollywood actors making $1 million. I gave you the low ball figures. 250,000. There's nobody making that kind of money. Your favorite actor make 10, 20, $15 million, $30 million, and shit like $40 million. That's what your favorite actors make. So if a person would lie for $250,000 and 1 million and all of that shit for 20, 30, 40 million, you ain't got a chance in hell at a person being honest with complete strangers. They're actors and actresses. They get paid to act. Rappers are storytellers. They get paid to convince you of a story. But I know y'all honestly think that everybody who says it actually sold drugs. And y'all actually think that everybody who says it actually had bricks. And y'all actually think that everybody who says it actually got all of these bodies all over the place. I don't know how everybody's doing all of this selling bricks and all of this killing and talking about it, and nobody's going to jail though. But y'all believe that this is happening. So now, in an industry full of deception, look at how this is playing out. We're getting all of this talk through this Puffy trial. And we had all of this Epstein and Weinstein. And you hear murmurs about children. But none of these cases are actually dealing with children. How come they always bring up the children, but nothing ever actually happens in regards to the children? Because what if I told you Hollywood was built on child abuse and rape? Or should we say sexual? We got to be politically correct. We have to say SA now, sexual assault. Hollywood was built on SA, male and female SA, predominantly targeting the youth. If you didn't have that, there would be no Hollywood. All of the stars and starlets. See, when you create, y'all have to understand it's the whole system that's designed to do this. So watch this, and I'm gonna make it quick. Capitalism is about haves and have-nots. So as long as you have a system of haves and have-nots, the have-nots will always look up to the haves because the have-nots want to have. So then the people who created this, they understand that. So when you create a system of have and have-nots, you must, in order for this to work properly, you have to glorify the haves, which is what makes the have-nots drown in desire. Now, The have-nots always desiring to be the haves. Most of the haves didn't earn it. It's placement. They were privileged, positioned through one way or another. And we got to stop believing the stories that they tell us, because these stories aren't always the truth. You see, get somebody's biography, or you'll watch this documentary that tell you such and such life story, and then y'all just wholeheartedly believe it. But this is, oh my God, this is so deep. I need to do a whole thing on this, because there's so much I want to say, but I can't go all over the place. We have to slowly get there. So then, but we don't do a good job at connecting everything. So let's just connect everything. Okay, so now we're treating Hollywood like it's a separate entity. That's where I think we're making our first mistake. So now, if you have a government that is controlling, then Hollywood has to be something that the government is in agreement with, supports, could even be behind, because we know that a lot of the action and military movies have to be proofed through the Pentagon and the United States government. So now that means the government is an intricate part of Hollywood out the gate. I think we separate the two, and that's where we lose sight of things. So now, if that's the case, and this is really a control mechanism, then we have to, now we look at these actors and actresses. It's such a small window. Then we start to find out a lot of them are related. Oh, okay. So a lot of these actors and actresses are related to the politicians. Or, it's like then we find out all United States presidents are related. So wait a minute. If all the United States presidents are related, and some of the actors and actresses are related to some of the politicians and presidents, wait a minute. What are we really looking at? Okay, sit that there for a second. We don't got to deal with it. Just think about what I said. Sit it there for a second. Now let's get back over here. Now we're dealing with Hollywood. Now, out the gate, I don't think a lot of people. Louis B. Mayer. I was checking this dude out. So now this dude is really Gone with the Wind, Wizard of Oz, all those legendary films that really built Hollywood. Okay, so now this dude basically becomes in control, all powerful in Hollywood. Now, this is a Jewish guy. Now, thing is this right here. There's allegations of him having mob connections and him ruling with an iron fist, and everybody was scared of this little guy. Now, another thing is this right here. When you became part of what was the MGM, Metro Goldwyn and Mayer, okay, that was him. When you become a part of that, they put you under contract. Now, this is the beginning of Hollywood. Even back then, admittingly by him, once you became, he called it a family. Once you signed a contract, you were part of the family. Now, that meant he literally got sole control over your physical body, your voice, your being. You're signing over all of that to them. Now, what you're gaining is something we have to understand about Hollywood. Since the beginning, voiceover, voice training, acting coaches, dancing, singing, all of that is at the studio. So when they're telling you so and so went to this acting school and so went to that acting school, maybe not. But ever since the beginning of Hollywood, Hollywood comes with, for all of the top actors, because his thing was, all he wanted was an attractive face. He wasn't looking for talent. Who the fuck had talent? Talent is what I say. So now, that means soon as you step into Hollywood, all you have to do is have that thing. Everything else they'll give you. Everything else they'll give you. Now, remember what we said over here. A lot of the politicians are related to the actors and actresses. So now, a lot of these are the children. So famous athletes and famous actors and actresses are usually the sons and daughters of the same thing. This is a small circle. So now you got everything you need is already in Hollywood. The voice trainer, the acting lessons, all that's already in Hollywood. Now, the average age, they're getting teenagers, young adults. You sign it over your everything. This puts you completely at the mercy of strangers, essentially. Strangers that are demanding because you have a quota to meet, you got timelines to meet, you got all of these deadlines to meet. And these are strangers. Now, the parents see opportunity because the children have the talent. So the parents become managers of the children. So now we have to ask ourselves, if most of the time, or a large percentage of the time, the parents are bringing the children to this opportunity, how was it so much abuse taking place? See, there's a lot of shit in here because they play this game, and I'm about to show y'all this game they play. They'll show us this thing about Nickelodeon, and to make it a big deal, somebody made a shitload of money off of that. It went away, and nobody went to jail. Think about that. They just showed us that Nickelodeon thing. It went viral. Someone cashed out heavy, and not one person went to jail. And they got us like, oh my God, look at Nickelodeon. It would give you the impression that Hollywood's not never seen anything like this. What about Shirley Temple? Oh, if y'all never seen Shirley Temple, tonight I'm going to learn your taste. Hey, baby, peace to the mama, peace to the wifey. Hey, baby. This, where is, hold on. Yeah, let's get Shirley. We're going to get little Shirley. And, hold on. Wait. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Let me get Shirley. Wait a minute, where's Shirley at? There we go. All right. I don't watch the whole thing, but
was mistreated and abused both psychologically and sexually. Hollywood tried to hide the flagrant abuses, but many have been well documented. Before she retired at the age of 22 in 1950, Temple made dozens of Hollywood films. Despite living a life filled with turmoil, Temple wrote in her memoir, Child Star, an autobiography, that she emerged from this series of traumatic events unscared. Hollywood is full of tragic stories, but this one thankfully has a happy ending. In this video, you will watch disturbing horrors behind Shirley Temple. From age 3, Temple endured horrific work conditions. Shirley Temple was just 3 years old when she made her film debut in the 1932 film More Babies. The movie was one of the Baby Burlesques, a run of 8 short films that imitated popular movies, actors, celebrities, and news stories. In these often sexually suggestive one-reelers, children mimic adults. They dress in adult costumes, but wear diapers fastened with large safety pins. For that particular short, Temple played the part of a sex worker named Charmaine. In her autobiography, Temple recalls the film series as a cynical exploitation of our childish innocence.
Okay, right there. Already we have a problem. What the hell do you mean she played a sex worker? How does a baby with a diaper play a sex worker? And then y'all gotta see the scene. The scene is horrific. It's a bar scene. And it's like, what are we doing? But here's the thing. On one end, we could sit here and say, the studio people are sick for doing this. But this became the #1 actress in America. Why were grown-ups going to watch this bullshit? This is crazy. This is so crazy. I had to call my mama last night, like, Mama, we need to talk. But hold on, come on with it.
If any of the 24 children in Baby Burlesques misbehaved, they were locked in a windowless sound booth dubbed the punishment box, where they'd be forced to sit on a block of ice. Temple was sent to the box several times, but she says, "Far as I can tell, the black box did no lasting damage to my psyche." Its lesson of life, however, was profound and unforgettable. Time is money. Wasted time means wasted money means trouble. Unfortunately, it seems as though the creators of the Baby Burlesques shared Temple's time is money attitude. The young star was once forced to work the day after she underwent an operation to lance her eardrum, and on another occasion was made to dance on a badly injured foot. MGM producer Arthur Freed exposed himself to Temple when she was 12. Bright Eyes, which came out in 1934, helped Shirley Temple become a global celebrity. She was the top box office draw in the globe between 1935 and 1938, leaving Clark Gable in second place.
Hold on, y'all. This ain't the right one.
Hello, I'm Polly Pig.
My fault.
But
This the right
this
one.
I sent me over to entertain you. I think you are wonderful. Oh, wait. I love you, hug and kiss you. Marry me and let me be your wife.
What's the matter? Has the cat got you too?
You hurt. Put me down.
Oh, I wouldn't hurt you, little lady. Give me a kiss, huh?
You won't believe what happened to me. And I told her what happened, and she got kind of quiet. She said, "Well, you don't know what happened to me." As bad as Freed was to me. But he came on to my mother.
Recently, people have been remembering Shirley Temple's life, and past videos of hers that had been buried have come to life, exposing some of the disturbing things that Hollywood had the young girl do to entertain the public. Let's take a deep dive into the tragic life of young Shirley and how Hollywood ruined her, Everyone knows the name Shirley Temple, whether you're picturing the bright-eyed child star or the cherry-flavored mocktail. Shirley was born as Shirley Jane Temple in Santa Monica, California on April 23, 1928, as the daughter of a homemaker and a bank employee. Shirley seemed to have been talented even from a young age, and at the age of 3, Temple's mother, Gertrude, enrolled her in Meglin's dance school in Los Angeles, where she was scouted by Charles Lamount, a casting director for the now-defunct studio, Educational Pictures.
What is that, baby? No. Gee, what you think I expensive? Here's the last what? Now I'm...
In 1932, the studio began a series called Baby Burlesques, where preschool-aged children would reenact famous films and current events. Now, the problem started right at the beginning of her career, since while depicting the roles bestowed upon them, the children were weirdly dressed in inappropriate clothing, while some still in diapers. It was such a weird experience for both the young actors trying to act older and the viewers having to look at young children being exploited. Despite the series having a cast of a dozen children, it was clear that Shirley Temple was the breakout star. At the age of only 3 years old, she landed a role in her first feature film, The Red-Haired Alibi. Her breakthrough film would come in May of 1934 with Fox Studios' Stand Up and Cheer. And in December of the same year, she starred in Bright Eyes with James Dunn, a film written specially for her. Things were going well for the young actress, and by the end of the year, Temple had starred in 10 movies, including 4 starring roles in major feature films. From 1932 to 1949, Temple starred in over 40 films for major studios such as RKO, Warner Brothers, 20th Century Fox, Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, Fox, Paramount, Universal, and the infamous Selznick International Pictures. And unfortunately for her, she has a tragic experience from allegedly all the studios she worked with. Between 1935 and 1938, Shirley Temple was the world's top box office star, leaving Hollywood legend Clark Gable in second place. It was during the Great Depression, and people loved seeing the young, bright, and bubbly girl on screen, and whether they were comfortable watching such a young child being put in such situations because of the sadness and grief they were going through, or maybe people were just crappy during her time, is still a mystery. Despite her extraordinary level of success, you'd be hard-pressed to find someone that can recall or actually name one of her movies, and that's for a reason. None of her films have aged well in the slightest, and in our time, we've opened our eyes more on what is happening around us. The overt sexualization of Hollywood's youngest starlet began the very moment she first appeared on camera. Her first ever credited role was for a baby burlesque film called War Babies, where she played a prostitute named Charmaine at the age of 3 years old. Does a 3-year-old even know what being a call girl entails? How did the producers even manage?
How the fuck, like, I'm sorry, y'all. Hold on. But how do you even put that in a script? A 3-year-old prostitute. Like, how do you say that to the parents? And how do the parents go for it? A 3-year-old prostitute? What is that even? And who went to go watch that bullshit? But wait till y'all see. Oh my God.
To convince people that it was appropriate for young Shirley to act that role. One particular scene in the feature film, Bright Eyes, shows the toddler singing the song On the Good Ship Lollipop in an uncomfortably short baby doll dress, being carried, held, and touched by an ensemble of around a dozen grown men. And this situations didn't stop. It's like producers were hiring her for the inappropriate roles only. The 1936 film, Poor Little Rich Girl, also has plenty of scenes of Temple being fondled by grown men. That entire film as a whole is a prime example of early Hollywood child endangerment and how normalized it was in the industry.
Right there is
Unfortunately, the arrival of young Shirley Temple to the film industry not only brought in creeps from Hollywood and the industry, but also creeps from all across the globe could fulfill their sick, twisted fantasies from the comfort of the movie theater, and things became harder for the young girl when these movies later came out on home media, making the problem worse and more easily hidden. The exploitation of Shirley Temple might have been horrific on screen, but things were so...
Yeah, I'm telling y'all, it's a horrific. And if y'all care, I thought this was the one with the dialogue. I got the one where they actually show you the scenes. That scene at the bar, these are 2 sailors. And one of them give her a sucker, and she's like she's 3, and they got her trying to look seductive eating a sucker as a 3-year-old. And then she tells the one, I don't come cheap. And she started tugging at his diaper, and then he grabs another sucker out of his belt and hand it to her. Then she give him a hug. Then the other kid come and she hug him. It's like they got her sucking suckers and making out with both of these little boys. Who the fuck was watching this shit? And apparently, you can't blame it on us because we wasn't allowed at the theaters yet. So this is white America getting off on this shit. Going out in droves, watching this shit because she became the biggest star in Hollywood. It's fucking sick. And then it's a scene where she drinking milk and it's like dropping in her mouth, then it all splashes over her face. You know what these sick ass directors, that's crazy. And so my thing is, when they pretend that everybody is so shocked that this is going on with Nickelodeon, as you can see, this has always been the way of Hollywood. So if they were doing it, and this is the 1930s, that was 90 years ago. Do you honestly think, 110 years ago, I'm sorry, do you honestly think that these people have stopped? It's the same people. Sure, they changed the name, but it's the same company name. The same logo. If nobody ever got in trouble for it, what made them stop? We can see this was at the inception of Hollywood. No one in a Hollywood film business on a major level has ever been brought down for something happening to the children. Which means if no one has ever got busted for it, then it never has stopped. So when we see this thing with Puffy, and I don't want to let him off the hook, but at some point, I'm going to do something so that you see he's not doing anything other than following a blueprint that's required. That's the part of it I don't think we understand. It's required. You're either going to be a victim or a victimizer. So the natural order of things is after you've been victimized long enough, you go from being prey to predator. It's either predator or prey is all you have. You're going to be one or the other. So then they're being prey for so long, the only way I can stop being prey is if I become the predator. And the ones who don't go that route, you see they get ruined and become drug addicts and all kind of. You look at I want to show y'all this thing real quick. This hold on, let me show y'all something real quick. To show y'all how screwed up these people really are. Well, wait, let me play this real quick too though.
Corey Feldman has no idea what it's like not to be famous. He was just 3 years old in this McDonald's commercial.
McDonald's gift certificates. I literally was famous before I knew my own name.
His roles defined the 80s. Goonies.
This was my dream, my wish.
Stand By Me.
You call my dad a loony again, and I'll kill you.
License to Drive.
The only difference between you and that greaseball is that he has a license and you don't.
Films that propelled him into the spotlight for his entire youth. But being famous so young, he says, caused serious damage to him and his friends. Do you feel like you missed out on a normal childhood?
What childhood? I don't know what that means.
A lost childhood and a loss of innocence. He blames the adults, not just those looking to profit from charming children, but also some with far more sinister motives.
I can tell you that the number one problem in Hollywood was and is and always will be pedophilia. That's the biggest problem for children in this industry.
The casting couch even applies to children.
Oh, yeah. Not in the same way. It's all done under the radar.
Nobody talks about pedophilia.
It's the big secret.
And it's widespread?
Oh, yeah. I was surrounded by them when I was 14 years old. Surrounded. Literally. Didn't even know it. It wasn't until I was old enough to realize what they were and what they wanted and what they were about and the types of people that were surrounding me till I went, oh my God, they were everywhere like vultures.
Vultures who Feldman says abused him and his best friend, the late child actor Corey Haim, his co-star in The Lost Boys.
Well, what happens if my mom is dating the head vampire?
Feldman says the trauma of that pedophilia contributed to Haim's death.
There's one person to blame in the death of Corey Haim, and that person happens to be a Hollywood mogul. And that person needs to be exposed, but unfortunately, I can't be the one to do it. But the person that knows who did it and knows who he is watching right now, I guarantee you. Yeah.
Intriguing.
Yeah. There was a circle of older men that surrounded themselves around this group of kids. And they all had either their own power or connections to great power in the entertainment industry.
Feldman won't name names. And he admits his friend had a struggle with addiction, which he says was a mechanism to cope with his demons.
So now that's what I'm saying, y'all. Like, it's one thing, we think that it's like every once in a while there's just a weirdo that takes it too far. And what they keep trying to tell us is, and what I'm trying to tell y'all is, it's built on it. It's not just one. Close the door for me, y'all. It's not just, hey, you leaving me, baby? Oh, say bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.
All right, baby. Can we close the door, baby? You can close the door. All right. Yeah. There's 9 of those and 2 on the way. I just went to my son's job. Nobody at the job believes that was my son. I'm old. I'm getting old, y'all. So anyway, so like I'm saying, it's one thing to every once in a while there's a weirdo. All right. But an industry built on it. Meaning the way to get ahead is through handing children over to the corporate ups. They want children. They want young flesh. They're perverts. So that's what you got to bring to the table. And if you're bringing a woman to the table, the only way that's acceptable is if, like, I don't even got to say it. I'm sure you could picture it. It's got to be multiple people. This is how you gain favor with record execs. So, like, you would go into a meeting with a super attractive woman, and the meeting's going good, but he can't stop looking at her. And so what could get negotiated is that if you can find a way to get her to agree to stay, then you could probably get what you want. These people are scumbags. And more so, the actual act, it's getting you to bend your natural order of how you think. go against the grain. So now what stands in between you and $1 million contract is the woman you love. Now you convince her, like, baby, just. This is what they do to people. There is no, they don't have innocence. So that's why you'll get somebody who allegedly was raped so bad he had to go to the doctor for his butt. And then you'll bring someone to the guy who did that to you so he could do it to them. Because for everybody that would judge him off of that, I'm judging them too. But what we must understand, from the moment he brought Bieber in, he immediately reversed the role. He is no longer at the bottom of the totem pole. He has brought his first sacrifice to the table. All sacrifices ain't murder. When he brought Justin to do, he sacrificed Justin. He understood what was about to happen. It happened to him. And to the point where it busted him open and had to get. Do you understand how horrific that has to be for a teenage boy? For a grown person, but for a teenage boy. And we all seen that clip of Justin Bieber high out his mind after he left. Let me see if I can find it. Is that the one? Where is it at? Down. I think that was on. Oh my God, that was on TikTok. Damn, it's so much stuff though. But look at this.
I mean, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But you never really got my number, so. Correct. Okay. My number? Yeah. I'm gonna tell you my number. Yeah. It's 555.
Bieber trying to shake that nigga like, you ain't been calling me. Hell no, I ain't been calling you. You remember what you did to me, you fucker? Everybody's seen the infamous.
It's a momentous occasion. Put your cell phone up. Take a picture. Something like this only happens once in a lifetime. Whoa. This is for the winners in the building. I see it, baby. I see it, baby. Take your cell phone out.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. And that's the whole thing. Yes, because you can't see, like, once that happens, you can't justify, you can't attest to what's about to happen to your woman. Like, these people are sick. So even if she's to agree to it, after y'all part ways, she's gonna have the worst night of her fucking life. And then now y'all gotta pretend that she ain't, and that's not gonna be enough. They're still gonna want you. At some point, you're gonna have to go through what you put her through. It's never ending until you become the predator. Now, Bieber, no, that was willing. Bieber was doing that willingly. That's Odell Beckham, the football player. They're at a New Year's Eve party. He just popped up because Trey Songz put the camera on him. Trey Songz was laughing and flashed the camera on him. So then he came up with his lips all soaking wet. They didn't turn him into that. Now it's like, this is how you got to stay on top. It's so much drugs floating around. You can see in a recent picture him and Will Smith's son making out on set. That recently, that was this year. Will Smith's son walking up to him, hugging him from the back, they kissing on set. That was this year. That was a couple months ago. He tell you everything in that Yummy video. I played it before. This is what it's all built on. And most of the time, the parents are serving these children up, because I was just looking into the Usher story. His mother's a tricky young. Okay, so Usher joined this little group, and he was singing part of the group. She would take the demos when she get her copy, and she was shopping them around to people. And when they asked about the group, she would say, well, the group broke up. But these are my son vocals right here. So then they would give her son Usher interviews on account of thinking that a group is broke. He was still in the group. It was his mother's decision to forcefully make him leave and go to Atlanta. Usher wanted to stay in the group and stay with his friends. He even told her, you're ruining my life. She forced to move to Atlanta from Tennessee, and then start taking him to all of these auditions. Now, let's show you how slick the industry is. They see this young man, they see his talent, and they see how thirsty he is. So now, when he started hitting puberty and his voice started changing, now keep in mind, these people got voice trainers and all of this. When his voice started changing, they threatened to cut his contract, like, we can't use you no more. You're getting too old. That sound ain't there. He started panicking. He gets suicidal and all type of shit. He go back begging, please, L.A. Reid, please, please, please. The L.A. Reid said, I'm going to give you one more chance. One more chance. And it's your only chance. You do this or you're out. You're going to Puffy's Flavor Camp. Now, the same year was the year that Puffy started Bad Boy. L.A. Reid don't got shit to do with Bad Boy. So why did you send an artist to a completely different label that you're not connected with? And then you sent him to the little boys camp. Well, we see how that went, didn't we? Where the fuck is the mother at in all of this? She said it was a business decision. And Puffy kept telling her, you just got to trust me. So you did that. You let your child go stay with a grown man at 10 years old. Because you're a fucking weirdo. And you're just as guilty. And we got Down South Connect. What's going on, kinfolk? We got all of this smoke for these dudes. But these deadbeat ass parents need to go to prison too. They need to have a special trial for you fucking parents and lock y'all ass up too. Because most of y'all sell y'all children out. And I was just I feel guilty. I feel a bad boy, exactly. I feel guilty because in one of my songs, I had a line that was real disrespectful towards Britney Spears, and it was upholding Kevin Federline. And so, as a young man, I fell for the narrative, oh, she's crazy, like the rest of the world. And today, while I was researching for this topic, I had the misfortune of actually watching her story. And all I could do is, I wish I was in a position to actually apologize to the woman because they did her like they always do. They drove her crazy. All them different meds they had putting on her, they did that to her. Her fucking death did that to her. That's crazy. When we looking at all this erotic clothes that she's wearing as a teenager and all this sexual seductive shit, keep in mind her fucking daddy was her manager her whole career. So when the daughter was butt naked on stage, he was approving of it. But not only that, took complete control of her money, had her on 24-hour everything. No childhood. Work. They built everything around her so she could never leave and have privacy. And kept pumping her full of drugs. And then put everything in their name. And to this day, that woman is still fighting for her fucking sanity. She made all of that money. She's one of the highest paid entertainers, female entertainers in history. And then she finally gets free from her dad robbing her entire career. Now her husband doing it to her, which means he was a plant like they always are. The Kevin Federline dude had a $60,000 a month allowance for doing nothing. As soon as he put out his own album, it flopped. He never made a dime on his own. Now he's a DJ at a bum-ass nightclub. Like, these people lived off this woman and didn't give her access to her earnings. She had to get permission and undergo treatment and shit to sign off for money. And then the case that she fought against her dad, he billed her for it. He billed her. All of these parents, Shirley Temple parents. Shirley Temple made $200 million by the time she was 21. She had $44,000 left. The Corey Haim dude I was just playing, he had $40,000 left after making millions as a child star. But what's amazing is, how are the parents in play to spend all the money, but oblivious to the children being abused? Now, I was watching the Usher thing, and I'm listening to Usher's voice at like 16 or something like that. I don't give a fuck if I was blind to everything before that. The day I popped up and my son was talking like Usher was talking at 16, me and him would have had to sit down and have a talk. You could hear it in his voice. You could hear it in his fucking voice that he was getting diddled at Diddy House. He was getting diddled with the diddler at Diddy House. And they choose their words so carefully. He said very curious things was happening. You know, they call it bi-curious. If you're after 11 or 12 as a little boy, you know what sex is. So for him to say, I went to see some things and I saw them, and I can't even tell you that I knew everything that was going on, that I understood everything. What's there not to understand if there's a boy and a girl? Now, if it's two guys running around butt naked, that's confusing. If you see Will, Buster, and Puff spooning, that's weird. That you can't explain it. But if I see a guy and a girl, I know exactly what's going on. So him using the word curious repeatedly and saying, he's not even sure he could understand what he was seeing, that lets you know it was some homoerotica going on in that motherfucking flavor camp. Now, when Craig Mack talking about flavor in the ear, I don't know what he was talking about. It's the entire thing. They try to give me to be the Gerber baby, y'all. Mama was smart enough to curb him, and we got out there jam. I'd have been on the back of the goddamn cereal box. Come on. No, sir. This is the thing. We have to stop pretending that this is not exactly what it is. Now, when you get to the science, there's a science part to this. And that's where it gets really wicked. You got, well, before we even deal with the science part, we're not going to give Shabron a pass either with his ain't no party like a Diddy party face ass. Now, I learned something. Well, I already knew this, but now I have a bit more evidence. So last year, I did something similar to this. And I had LeBron when he was on that little pink inner tube. And people was arguing about me, telling me I was reaching. So now, reach no more. He was in a pool, and you got to pay attention to these people. They do symbols. So he's on a pink inner tube. That's a statement right there. Why does a grown man take a selfie on a pink inner tube? That's the first issue. But then he's in the pool by himself on a pink inner tube, and he randomly posts, "Been a while since I had a pizza party." And then he puts hashtag Culver City. Now, I told y'all, if you go on the FBI pedophile hotline, it will tell you that pizza is code talk in the pedophile world. It's code talk for children. So, when LeBron says it's been a while since he had a pizza party, he's talking about he hasn't played with the children in a while. And he's on a pink floater to let you know he prefers little girls. And the proof is he says hashtag Culver City. Now, when I was watching Louis B. Meyer, they call him, he's like the godfather of Hollywood. He's the one that brought the whole thing together. They were talking about when he first built Paramount Studios and how big it was and how enormous it was and how it housed 250,000 people and how it was enough to light up an entire city. The lights that they spent and how it was built in Culver City. Now, why is LeBron hashtagging Hollywood after saying he hadn't had a pizza party in a while? Because Culver City is where they built the studios. Why is LeBron hashtagging the movie lot studio, the movie studio lot, while he's talking about missing a pizza party? Because remember, this is a Hollywood thing. The movie lot is big enough to light up a city of 250,000 people. Excuse me. Which means it's a miniature city. There's studio plots all over this miniature city that has its own personal police force. So there's no need for the police to come because we have a 50-man police staff that's our own. Which means they built a city that they completely govern. Which means nobody has the right to come in. And if you call the police, you're calling our police, which essentially means once we get you to Culver City, no one can save you. We can do whatever we want. Isn't that a great place for a pizza party? That's why LeBron says ain't no party like a Diddy party. Because he likes little children too, just like the rest of them. And I've been telling y'all that about Shabron. What you don't like to believe, it's all of them. Every last one of them is a fucking weirdo. I was watching something else. Y'all ain't gonna like this one either. But I don't give a fuck. I'm here to tell it. I was reviewing. I was looking. I was going to deal with the crisscross thing. Most of us know the story. But I was looking for a little more intricate detail. And I went to the Cat Williams clip. And I didn't catch this the first time, but I caught it this time. I kept saying, why is he so confident? Because ain't no way he's not guilty, because he wouldn't be in the space that he's in. He's guilty. But how come he's so confident? And then I watched and I heard him say he was giving these enormous accolades to Prince. And then he said, Shannon Sharp was like, yeah, you were real close to me. He's like, yeah, I've been around him since I was 10. How did Williams get around Prince at the age of 10? Prince? Purple Rain Prince? Prince that Charlie Murphy told us is a flaming homosexual? That Prince? Well, I know y'all seen all the beautiful women and y'all think, no way. He like, well, in this industry, we are witnessing firsthand that you have to be at least bisexual. I mean, it's coming out the closet to Jamie Foxx, another one of y'all heroes. Now Puffy, it's Busta Rhymes. I mean, who isn't it? Jay-Z. All of these people just popping out the woodworks with this connection to this bisexual homosexuality thing. Well, Prince wasn't trying to hide it. He clearly liked the boys too. Now, in an industry where pedophilia rules, and he's the second biggest artist on the planet, arguably the first, it's a toss-up between him and Mike. What was the relationship between Cat Williams and Prince? I don't know. I'm just speculating. But I know one thing. Cat Williams is damn near in the same space that Prince was in. So to have such a mentor, wouldn't that be something? Wonder what kind of connections and information Prince could offer to somebody like Cat Williams. I could guarantee y'all, I'd put money on it. Prince groomed Cat Williams. I'd bet on it. And Prince used to throw wild parties back in the days with Rick James and all of that. So I'm sure he's got his fair share of footage. It's all about the footage, y'all. Oprah and Barack Obama. What about them? They're definitely guilty as guilty comes. Barack is, that's a whole nother other thing. The fact that he's disrespected us last week with saying what's wrong with black men, and then you let a white boy bring you out on stage and you rap a white boy lyrics to try to resonate with a black audience. These people are hilarious. And the fact that y'all got off because Obama remembered Eminem's lyrics. You should have seen the crowd went crazy. Doesn't change the fact that you bombed 7 black nations. And they gave you a Nobel Peace Prize for that. Yeah, that name's definitely surfacing more. It's at this point, it's so much clickbait out there. You don't know who's who and what's what. But this thing, they're gonna do what they always do. They're building you up all of this. They're only gonna take a few people down, but they're gonna take more down this time than they ever have. See, when things like this happen, they can clean house. Excuse me. Anybody who was on the fence that they had to let slide, they can clean house now and scare the shit out of everybody else. This is really about the children, but you don't hear much about them. Now it's like they'll bring you one person who says he was a 9-year-old boy. But we heard them say they have entire events where it's just all children. Where are those children at? Where are those people at? How come nobody's... They're picking and choosing what they want to tell because they're not really trying to bring it all down. But certain people got to crumble. And notice how they tried to distract you last night with LeBron and his son. So now it's the first father and son team to make history. But all over the internet is LeBron is a weirdo with Puffy. He's completely ignoring that. Candace Owens then went on national TV, went on Piers Morgan and said, we got people like LeBron being silent now. They keep saying people like LeBron being silent now. They keep playing that clip of ain't no puppy like a Diddy part, ain't no party like a Diddy part. Why hasn't he made a statement yet? Shouldn't he have immediately cleaned that up? Oh, now, I don't know if you heard about, I don't know if that was from our discussion or not, mother, but that's, you know, that's what they do at the military barracks. On the weekends at the military barracks, they bring a bunch of the children from the ROTC program and just whatever children they've managed to abduct, and they let them go in the woods and they hunt them down. They run around naked and hunt the little boys down. They definitely do, mother. And that's the military that does that. Because keep in mind, the most SA in America takes place on the military base. And no one SAs their spouse more than, no one SAs their spouse more than police, more than congressmen. No one abuses their spouse, like beat her up, more than cops. But the SA, that happens the most on military bases and by congressmen. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? The most domestic abuse in America is police officers beating up on their wives. The most sexual assault of women takes place on military barracks. Because remember, the military is another self-governing. All of these places where they self-govern, mysteriously, how it goes down in every place that's self-governing. What a coinky dink. This it's sick beyond measure. It's so many because like I say, if you got 90 years of this and no one on a large scale has ever really went down, then why would it stop? So you got to think about it like this right here. The Epstein and Weinstein case didn't scare Puff. Why? Why didn't that scare him? Like it should have been, he should have been caught dead near a party after Epstein and Weinstein. It didn't scare him because he made more money after. It's a reason why you have to ask yourself. They literally said the Prince Henry has been to a Puffy party. What the fuck is royalty doing partying with Puff? What does royalty want? The more money they get, the sicker their tastes get. Because when you get into those spaces, you're going to find out in a crash course. Just like Lil Usher, he get took. You go into Diddy camp to get voice training. They drop you off and pull off. You walk in with your bags like, hey, everybody butt naked. It's all men just walking around like, hey, Usher, how you doing? You want to touch the mic? There's no. And then, how many stories have we heard of the kid telling the parent and the parent not believing them? And I'm going to be honest. I don't even think it's about the parent not believing them. The parent has become accustomed to this lifestyle and convinces themselves that the child is overreacting. And there's situations where like, who's to even say that the parents aren't going through the same thing as the child? That's another angle. Because with the Shirley Temple thing, they said Shirley Temple was in one room, they was doing it to her, and then her mama was in another room and they was doing the same thing to the mama. So it's like, it's impossible to get this many weirdos in one space. It's impossible. Was the entire Hollywood and the music industry, and even if we ain't gonna say the entire, okay, I'll give y'all the benefit of the doubt. Even if we say it's 75%, how is that possible? 75% of the movie and music industry is straight weirdos. How is that possible? It's got to be something else, y'all. Because this is not natural. So what you're looking at is decades of everybody grooming everybody. Think about all of your favorite stars from back in the days. They had to be going through the exact same shit. Because start looking at some of them now, like Eddie Murphy, get caught with a tranny. Why? All the women that love Eddie Murphy, why does he want boy pussy? That had to come from somewhere. Young Buck getting caught with a tranny. How are people getting caught with trannies when every woman in America wants to sleep with them? Young Buck was at the top. There's no place Young Buck was going and he couldn't get a beautiful woman to want to give him sex. How does he end up with a tranny one night? And even if you're going to say it's an accident, why doesn't this story end like with me punching the shit out this guy? Like, I got a friend who accidentally ended up with a room in a tranny. He got sentenced to 40 years after that incident. That's what's supposed to happen. If somebody trick you and you go down there and you feel a penis, bro, it's lit. It's up, stuck. Man, please, come on, towel, man, come on. My head hurting just thinking about what's going to happen. Well, I get my paws on this guy. So, if you getting caught with one, like, yo, it's weird. Then we behind the scenes, we start seeing all of the weirdo shit that explains some of the shit that we thought was there, but we overlooked it. Richard Pryor came right out and told you they suck penis for roles. He literally told you. He knew they was gonna have to suck these Jewish dudes' penis, so he would take with him all the time. What's the bro? I mean, like, watch this. Let me show y'all how fucked up these people is. Let me show y'all really. I forgot about this one. I'm finna show y'all. This the sickest one. I say the best for last. This hands down the sickest one right here. Where's that? Where is that? Where is that? Wait a minute. No. Oh, here we go.
They're gonna need their energy because I am taking these guys to the bath. Do me a favor, back and get their little butts.
Okay, sure. Be right back. Okay, sure.
The following program contains mature subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
They're gonna need their energy because I am taking these guys to the bath. Do me a favor, back and get their little butts.
Okay, sure. Be right back.
Thanks. Michelle, somebody really was a little better than you, then you just got accepted.
Bob Saget.
The Jewish bee, did he?
16 men on a dead man's chest. Yo ho ho and a bottle of.
Danny?
Come in. Come in.
Oh, sorry.
No, hey, Becky, it's okay. I've got a suit.
Okay, so. Woo! First of all, that's the uncle talking about he about to give the twin boys a bath. You see how uncomfortable the mother is. He like, get they duckies. I'm finna get them a bath. He hesitated to say, okay. He go to get the duckies. He in the bathtub already with the two little boys. Now, he walk in, see him, and walk back out. Wait a minute, bitch, where you going? Give me your motherfucking children. So you thought a man was naked in the tub with your sons, so you walk back out and close the door? And then he says, no, it's okay. I've got a rubber suit on. But you're still holding two naked little boys. How was this type of shit on TV?
Mom walked in the bathroom and was about to walk out the bathroom until the guy said, don't worry, I got a suit on. What kind of madness is this? How is this even funny?
It's no problem.
Danny? Actually, it is a problem.
Sound and logical.
Fucking duh.
I'm sorry, Becky. I miss having babies around.
Why should we pick Bob Saget, who raped and killed a girl in 1990? Well, first of all, it's not true. It's not true that Bob Saget raped and killed a girl in 1990. How do you make an ass hurt? The Olsen twins say, well, Bob Saget hands you a chocolate milk that he just made, and you wake up 3 hours later, lying on your stomach.
What a tough gig that must have been, huh? His entire job consisted of saying, take a look at this, which is what he used to say to Mary-Kate Olsen in her dressing room.
It gets worse. I can't believe that this stand-up routine hasn't been flagged by authorities to be investigated. What's also quite interesting is how Bob Saget died. He allegedly fell and slipped, but his head injury looked like he had been beaten with a baseball bat.
I love him like a perverted uncle who pays for lunch and then follows me into the men's room. Now should have been called Blackjack because she hit on the Olsens when they were 8. He didn't stop till they were 21. Is it true that you used to give Mary-Kate acting lessons? You tell her, act like this never happened. Bob Saget is a sick bastard. He has 2 daughters in college and 3 girlfriends in high school.
But you're a great crowd, and I care about all you individually. I just want to have sex with you right now. I'm serious, but I can't. I'm working right now. But I'm a happy guy because I got married. Married my girlfriend of 7 years. At her age, I'm going to jail. But I'm nuts over her. She's this tall. Everybody needs friends, you know. I had it rough when I was a kid. Never got to go to camp. My mom felt like an embarrassed undressing in front of little boys. But I've changed because I kind of like it now.
A little bite to eat, maybe take a nap, and you'll feel all better. Uh-huh. Right. Okay. Bye-bye. Derek's taking it pretty hard, huh? Well, I don't know about that, but his father sure is a mess. Well, I hope Michelle's feeling a little better. Oh, man, it's all my fault. Put so much pressure on her, she didn't know whether she was coming or going. When she started, she was just a happy-go-lucky kid. And then I got a hold of her, and I worked her, and I drilled her, and so there was nothing left but just an overworked, over-drilled little hunk of overworked, over-drilled. Danny, don't get your shorts in a knot. Joey, I'm upset. No, I mean, your shorts are really in a knot.
But I won't do that, damn it, because I want to have a kid. I really do. Right now I'm in no position to have a kid because I'm standing up and I'm alone. But
Most comics dream of performing in Las Vegas, Nevada. Bob Saget dreams of performing in Hannah, Montana.
Bob has done a lot for this country. For 8 seasons, half an hour a week, Full House, kept pedophiles off the street. In fact, 3 of them were on the show.
I'm glad I got out of sitcoms before you killed them. You didn't just kill sitcoms, you raped them and left them for dead in a ditch.
The other day, after all these years, I'd never met the Olsen twins. He introduced me to them. I said to him, how do I tell them apart? He says, Ashley Swallows.
look, I'm sorry. I'll stay out of your way.
You know what we can do? We'll set aside some special Uncle Danny time so you guys can be together.
Really?
Yeah.
How's that sound, guys, huh? You like that idea?
This shit is so creepy, it's making my fucking skin crawl. How are you allowed to legally tell those kind of jokes? And why is that still on the internet? I met the Olsen twins for the first time. I asked him, how do you tell them apart? He says, Ashley Swallows. What the fuck? Every one of those jokes was an enormous pedophile joke. And the room was cracking up. Especially the Ashley Swallows thing. You see females clapping. So now, it shows you who's really in the industry. He said, every week you kept pedophiles off the streets by watching your show. It was 3 of them on your show. What the fuck? How is this funny? Yeah. So, of course, I got tons of more ammunition, but we are vastly over. So, with that being said, yeah, I know what time it is. You know what time it is. Conscious Conspiracy Cave on Clubhouse. Don't meet me there, beat me there. Knowledge is the only real power, and information is the only real currency. But the application of both is the route to divinity. I love y'all. I'm gone.